All right, everybody, welcome back here. Michael Cohen here again on the Sports Talk Nation. And before we get into this video, remember to like and subscribe here for more content throughout the course of the summer. Of course, now we're going deep into the baseball season. And in this area, it's Mets, it's Yankees, it's the top two teams in baseball. You want to like and subscribe here for more content as we move across the summer. So, the NFL is a funny animal in a lot of ways, folks. It always is. When you look at the way the NFL schedule came out, and if you look at the schedule for the two teams, I know that for Jet fans, there's been a lot of optimism. It was a really eventful offseason. They made a lot of moves to improve the team. They had what a lot of people consider to be one of their best drafts in a very, very long time. How that all plays out, well, we'll begin to get those answers come September, and the schedule is no bargain at all. It is no bargain. I looked at that thing when it came out last night, and I was like, wow. Those first 9 weeks they're going to be tough. Those first 9 weeks, if it plays out, if the teams are as good as we think they're going to be, that they have in that schedule, it's going to be very, very difficult for the Jets early going in that schedule. So let's take a look at it. You all have seen it. The first 4 games, right out of the gate. Home to the Baltimore Ravens in Week 1. At Cleveland, Week 2. Cincinnati, AFC champions in Week 3. And then at Pittsburgh, Week 4. And, again, with the Ravens, I know they had a down year last year. They had a lot of injuries last year. They're going to be healthy, you would have to imagine, this year. You're going to have a healthy Lamar Jackson. That's going to be a very difficult test. And I know the Jets, again, they're going to get back Carl Lawson. I know they're going to have a rookie cornerback in Sauce Gardner that a lot of people, that had a great college career. Jermaine Johnson in his first game, great college career. Obviously, C.J. Mosley, the veteran on that defense. Those guys are going to be tested against this Ravens offense. We all know it. I know Hollywood Brown is no longer there anymore. I understand that. But it is still Lamar Jackson, one of the more talented players in the league when healthy. That's going to be tough. And I don't see that going too well. Cleveland is going to be interesting Week 2 because we don't know what the situation is with Deshaun Watson. Is he going to be there? Is he going to play? Is he going to be suspended? We don't know. That it could be an opportunity for the Jets to get their first win. And then Cincinnati, I know the Jets won the game last year when they had Mike White under center. Not going to happen this time against the Bengal team that, of course, is feeling really, really good about itself coming off of the Super Bowl last year, the game that they probably should have won, ended up losing. Pittsburgh is another cipher because, and you're going to see this throughout the schedule, there are teams in this schedule that we really don't know what they're going to be. Pittsburgh is one of those teams. Seattle is one of those teams. We really don't know. Are they going to be kind of rebuilding? Are they trying to transition? And Pittsburgh, now post-Ben Roethlisberger era, they're looking at, Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Pickett at quarterback, Juju Smith-Schuster no longer there in Pittsburgh. Could be a win for the Jets. It could be, but I'll give you my win-loss prediction. But at the end of this breakdown, but that is going to be tough. You're talking about T.J. Watt on defense, one of the best linemen in the league, going up against that Jet offensive line. A big test for Mekhi Becton or whoever's going to be at left tackle, and Zach Wilson will probably be under siege against that defense. That's going to be tough. Then the game that a lot of people wanted to see in Week 1 this year, Miami comes to town in Week 5. Of course, that's the Tyreek Hill revenge game after he spurned the Jets to go to the Dolphins. You also have the connection there. Of course, Robert Saleh and Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel, both of them being former 49ers staffers on that coaching staff. So that'll be an interesting matchup there in Week 6, a game that I would think the Jets would have a chance to win. I've never been a big Tua guy. And then it's going to be absolutely brutal for 5 weeks. You're going to have the Jets going to Green Bay, going to Denver, back-to-back weeks. Russell Wilson's now the quarterback there in Denver. They're a good football team. New England in Week 8. Buffalo right there in Week 9. And then after the bye week, New England again. I know the Jets are due against New England at some point. I'm not totally impressed. I'm not totally sold on Mac Jones there in New England. But it's still the Patriots. It's still Bill Belichick. It's still going to be very tough for the Jets to win, let alone one of those games against the Patriots. And the Bills are probably the favorites in the AFC this year. So there's that. So that's going to be a brutal stretch. Those 9 games, that could be it for the Jets season right there. And you're talking about the second half of the year of the Jets trying to trying to get some wins, trying to get a better feeling for things right now, moving down a stretch of the year. They got the Bears, who are really in kind of the same situation as the Jets in a lot of ways, maybe even worse. Rookie quarterback, but now with the new head coach. Sounds a little bit like the Adam Gase situation, really, in Chicago. Minnesota, new head coach. They still got Kirk Cousins. I've never been a big Kirk Cousins guy. That's a weird game, that Minnesota game. At Buffalo, then Detroit, Jacksonville on the Thursday night. At Seattle, I don't know what Seattle's going to be either, folks. I mean, are they rebuilding? I mean, it looks like they're fully rebuilding right now with Russell Wilson out, a whole bunch of other players out. It is a revenge game with Jamal Adams, of course. So that will have a lot of intrigue there. I thought that game would have been early in the season because of that Jamal Adams intrigue, but it's at the end of the season. And then the Jets wrap up the year at Miami. Not an easy schedule. And as everyone has said, and I've just alluded to, it's going to be very difficult the first half of the year. It eases up in the second half of the year. I would say right now, I'm going to post my schedule with my prediction there. Boom, there it is. I'll say 7-10 right now. 7 wins, 10 losses for this Jets team. Yes, there are signs of improvement, but is it going to be enough? Of course, it all depends on Zach Wilson, how he is going to improve as a quarterback of this team. He needs to have a big year. The Jets have put a lot around him this year, both at wide receiver, tight end, now at running back, of course, with Breece Hall there with Michael Carter. So it will be imperative to see how Zach Wilson develops in his second year. He needs to take a step forward, and I'm very curious to see how this Jets defense is going to look. So that is the Jets schedule. Not easy at all here upcoming season. Quickly, let's go over to the Giants and Big Blue. This was supposed to be the year for the Giants where they were going to decide what they want to do with Daniel Jones. And with that opener, they may have a decision by the time that opener comes to an end. Going to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who were the number 1 seed in the AFC last year. And I know it's Ryan Tannehill. He's not that great. I know that A.J. Brown is gone. Julio Jones likely gone. But they still got Derrick Henry. They can still run the ball all over the place. That's going to be a tough test for Big Blue right out of the gate. Carolina opening game. Carolina looks like they could be on pace to be the worst team in football this year. How bad are they going to be? They're already talking about hiring Sean Payton as their next head coach. They can't wait to get Matt Rule out of the building right now. That's what the rumors that are flying around right now about the Carolina Panthers, who may be stuck with Sam Darnold, may end up with Baker Mayfield. Who knows by that point? Monday night against the Dallas Cowboys. That's always a automatic Monday night game. Dallas and the Giants, usually a primetime game. The Bears in Week 4, and then, of course, not really at the Packers, against the Packers in London, England. The third ever trip for the Giants overseas to London, England, as they will take on the Packers in the United Kingdom. Should be an interesting game there at 9:30 in the morning. Get up early, folks. And then no bye week after that trip to the UK. The Giants come back home right away and then play the Ravens, and that defense, again, Ravens were a beaten-up team last year. I expect they'll be healthier this year. That could be a tough test. Back-to-back games, Packers and Ravens for the Giants. At Jacksonville, what is Jacksonville going to be this year? Are they going to look a little bit better than they did last several years? I have no idea. We'll find out. Now with Doug Peterson as the head coach. Again, Seattle, the biggest cipher of them all going into the season, and then the bye week. And then after the bye week, 2 games the Giants have to win. Have to win. If they want to even, let alone compete or even build something, for that matter, Texans and the Lions. You got to win those games if you're the Giants. And then they end the season with 5 games in the division in the last 7 weeks, including Thanksgiving Day against the Dallas Cowboys. If you're going to have indigestion, you might as well have it watching the Cowboys and the Giants, right? Come on. That's going to be your Turkey Day festivities. And then, of course, they play the Washington Redskins / football team / Commanders / should have been called Red Wolves. Whatever you want to call them. They play them twice in 3 weeks, wrapped around the Eagles game. And then it ends with the Vikings on Christmas Eve, the Colts on New Year's Day, and the Eagles on the road in Philadelphia. What's it going to be for the Giants? I also say 7-10. And the reason I say 7-10 is because I look at that NFC East. I don't trust the Eagles all that much. Certainly don't trust the Commanders all that much. Dallas should be the best team in that division, and they should beat up on the Giants and those other 2 teams in the division as well. this is going to be it's a building block season for the Giants this year. They have some nice new pieces like Kayvon Thibodeau, like Evan Neal on the offensive line, but it's all about whether Daniel Jones can step up and prove it in a win it or now year. Saquon Barkley, can he stay healthy for a full season? There are a lot of questions for the Giants, and I think fans have to keep a even keel approach going into the season. It's going to be the first year of a new program there with Brian Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen, that they're trying to rebuild and try and move that program forward. But I think best case scenario for the Giants, 7-10. I think best case scenario for the Jets right now, 7-10. We'll see what happens when we get to that point. So, folks, that's going to do it here for our quick look at the schedules for the 2022 season. Well, again, like and subscribe. We'll talk to you next time.